All right. So, we've talked about the Blue's Clues thing, but we talked about it through another content creator who was much smaller, and it really... I gave my opinions there, but there was more in that video than just the talk about Blue's Clues. The person was trying to say that all people who are gay or trans, or etc., necessarily were some form of pedophile. Like, that was a thing that we dealt with in that video. This one, however, is from Matt Walsh. And as usual, I have not watched it beforehand, but I guess we'll see what kind of arguments are thrown at us today from Matt. He's always such a bastion of logic and reason, and never deliberately masqueraded arguments from feelings. I can't wait to see what kind of intellectual powerhouse we run into today. But before we do all of that, let's go ahead and get right into the fan art section. This one is from Skiller the Bean 2000, and they said this one was fun to draw. And honestly, not only was it fun to draw, but looking at it is also fun to look at. Thank you very much for the fan art submission. And then we have one from Blue Feather, and apparently they think this one is cursed. And I'm sure it's some level of curse to someone, but here it's just kind of par for the course. And then finally, we have this one from Cherry Syrup. I'm not even going to lie, I actually really like, as somebody who really likes card games, I like the tail coming out of the frame. That's just something that I like when bits of a character pop out of its frame. That's a thing that I've gotten from, like, Pokemon and Magic cards and stuff like that for ages, and I really, really like that aesthetic. Alrighty. Thank you all for your fan art submissions. As always, whenever you want to throw fan art at the channel, the best way to do it is by dropping it into the fan art section of the Discord. That way it is guaranteed that it will eventually show up on an episode. With all that said, let's go ahead and get right into this guy's face. Let's not get into the face, though. That would be weird.
You know, it's important not to idealize the past. The world during my childhood certainly wasn't perfect. The media we consumed at the time wasn't perfect either. But one thing I do remember is that children's shows were, broadly speaking, shows for children. They had childish themes and ideas and plots. The moral at the end of every story was always something like, sharing is good, or learning is fun. And this all made a lot of sense. The show Blue's Clues was a little bit after my time. It debuted when I was in middle school, I think, if I remember correctly. But my younger siblings were Blue's Clues fanatics, so I was exposed to the show a fair amount. During a typical episode, Blue, the cartoon dog, would decide that he wanted to, you know, make puppets out of construction paper or something, and then he discovered that his scissors are missing. And with the help of his human friend Steve and the children watching at home...
So is everybody else enjoying this Wikipedia article? Oh, I'm sorry. I know that this is giving a synopsis for anybody who maybe didn't know what Blue's Clues is, but yeah. Also, Blue's a girl. Okay, let's go. Let's continue.
Blue would search around the house for his scissors, and then he would eventually find the scissors, and that would be the end of the episode. Suspense, drama, sorrow, redemption. The show had it all, or at least it had enough for the preschoolers in the audience.
Okay. I'm sure this is where he's going to talk about the parade and say that, oh my god, this is horrible. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Those preschoolers, they don't need much from their entertainment. Innocent and simple should be the name of the game, and that's what many children's shows used to be. That's what Blue's Clues used to be. But not anymore. Like so many other forms of child entertainment, Blue's Clues went from looking for his scissors to this.
Families marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. This family has two mommies, they love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade. Families marching two by two.
How much of it is he gonna play? How much of this does he actually play? Oh dear God, you just posted like a whole minute of this? Well, I guess we're just gonna keep listening.
Hurrah, hurrah.
Yay! Okay, so honestly, I actually don't hate that bit. It's gonna be stuck in my head for a while, not gonna lie. How is this bad? Good question. I don't know how you actually, like, argue that this is bad. I've seen it argued by somebody who had the intellectual rigor of an ant try to fight against this thing, but that was an earlier episode. This time, we've got Matt Walsh. You know, he's got a big brain. He's got lots of wrinkles on it. I'm sure he'll be able to explain to us how this is bad.
Yes, a non-binary disabled dolphin.
Okay. And? So, anthropomorphizing characters... Let me go and throw this out right now. Are there non-binary disabled people? Yes. Are there disabled people? Yes. Are there non-binary people? Yes. Does Blue's Clues and other children's media frequently anthropomorphize animals to make characters? Yes. So it would then follow that one of those animals, representing a person, as that's what they're supposed to represent, might take on traits we would see in people, like being non-binary or being disabled. So for him to, like, immediately hit with that and just do the look to the side, Can I copy Matt's face? Is that doing it? Am I getting it right? I don't know. But Trekkie, do not tell Neko to stop. Neko has an issue where typing is concerned. They are allowed to type as much as they want. You'd be yeeted from the chat before Neko, trust me. Okay, anyway. With all that said, let's go ahead and get into the rest of Matt's stuff.
And I hope you notice the Black Lives Matter fist on the microphones. They really...
No, it's a fist of solidarity. It's a fist of solidarity. We went over this in the last thing. It does not have to be a Black Lives Matter fist. That fist is used in a smorgasbord of solidarity-based movements.
Really jammed it all in there. Yes, that is a Pride Parade featured on a recent episode of the show Blue's Clues.
It's actually not Blue's Clues. This is a reboot / spin-off show. I believe this is from Blue's Clues and You, which is not the original Blue's Clues show, but semantics.
Show which, again, is targeted specifically at children aged 3 to 5. The person singing is a man named Andrew Levitt, who goes by Nina West when he's on stage as a drag queen.
Why does that matter?
This is apparently not the first time that Blue's Clues has delved into LGBT propaganda. They recently released a video featuring young children talking about the different pride flags and what they mean. There are, of course, many pride flags that signify many different sexual proclivities. The parade segment we just watched goes on for a while.
Sexual proclivities. Sounds like a weird way to, like... This is a weird way to say it. I'm not saying that that is or isn't a bad way of describing it, but it feels like it just diminishes what people have had to fight for that caused pride flags to even become a thing in the first place. But okay.
While listing many of them, starting with gay and lesbian, and then, as you saw, disabled, non-binary dolphins, and then into trans and beyond. Let's watch a little more just to see how far this actually goes.
Wait, was there criticism? Did you just show it and comment on it and that was it? You couldn't, like, offer why this was bad? I guess that's going to be in your conclusion, right?
Families marching 6 by 6, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching 6 by 6, hurrah, hurrah. Ace, Bi, and Pan, grown-ups you see, can love each other so proudly. And they all go marching in the big parade. Oh, yeah!
Okay.
Ace, Bi, and Pan. Sound like the names of, members of a boy band or something.
Really? That's the best you got? Ace for asexual, Bi for bisexual, Pan for pansexual. That's it. Now though, Matt, I'm sorry. You need to start a boy band where the members are called Ace, Bi, and Pan. You have to. You are legally obligated to now.
But no, Ace, Bi, and Pan, because it's important that 3-year-olds be taught about pansexuals. By the way, if you're wondering what ace means, I had to look that up.
Okay, hold on. When the fuck did this air? Matt Walsh. This was posted on June 1st. This was posted 13 days ago. You're telling me that at your age, And having existed on the internet for as long as you have, talking about and criticizing LGBTQ people for as long as you have, you're trying to convince me that you had to look up what ace meant. What an asexual person was. You didn't... That wasn't a piece of information that you had? I'm sorry, I don't know if I can take literally anything you say seriously when something that is as basic, as benign, as not having sexual attraction to people in varying varieties, something as basic as that was alien to you.
That's a term used for asexuals. Now, if you're wondering why asexuals, that is, people who experience no sexual attraction at all, are included in a community of people who identify themselves by their attraction to other people.
Oh, I see what this is. This is ace erasure. Got it. Oh boy, I can't wait to hear the rest of this point.
And why anyone would be proud of not being attracted to other humans anyway. Well, that I can't really explain.
I can explain it, though. And I can do it right now, the exact same way that I can explain why people do Pride at all, why people are proud of being gay, lesbian, etc. While it is true that sexuality is not something that you necessarily earn, it is something that is innate to you via a smorgasbord of nature and nurture, shit tons of things that go into creating the sexuality that you have. In several areas of the United States, it is expected of people that they will experience sexual attraction to other people, and that sexual attraction will be experienced in a heterosexual way. This is one of the reasons why people end up in, having pride for being gay, because they're told that the normal way to be is having attraction to the opposite sex, and then when they don't, opposite gender as well, it depends on which area of the conversation you're in, but when they don't experience that, when they try to love someone else, they're told it's a sin, they're told it's bad, they're told they're going to go to hell, what have you, all this other fun stuff. Okay, now, I want you to take all those same mechanics and just remove the relationship, like remove the sexual component of relationship, and now you've got the same thing. Now, the argument is there are people who are expected to engage in sexual relationships or experience sexual attraction. In a lot of cases, this is where like parents are expecting, oh, you're going to have offspring one day. You're going to carry on the family line. And a lot of asexual people just have to come to terms with the fact that no, they're not going to. They don't experience that kind of attraction. Some ace people, some gray ace people may end up, still being able to function. They still end up having libido, but a lot of ace people just don't feel that. Why would they be proud of that? Because fuckers like you tell them not to be. The whole reason that pride even became a thing in the first place is because people were being told not to be proud of these things, that they were going to hell because of these things. But when you are talking about ace people, the conversation mechanically is not that much different. So to ask why can't an ace or why should an ace person be proud, you'd have to ask the follow-up question, why should a gay person be proud? And with all the mechanics being similar across the board, they have reason to be proud. They do.
All I can say is that the LGBT umbrella has become more like a mushroom, growing and growing until it has reached now a point where it's defined not by what it is, but by what it isn't.
Okay, so no. Asexuality, being ace, being lesbian, being bisexual, being any of these things, they are all defined by what they're not. They are not heterosexual. Heterosexual is the norm. They are not the norm. This is not some unique thing. They all operate mechanically the same way in this conversation.
The only similarity between an asexual, someone who isn't attracted to anybody, and a pansexual, someone who's attracted to everybody, is that neither are heterosexual.
Yes. That's why Pride happened in the first place.
The point of Pride for LGBT people these days seems to simply be that they aren't straight.
Yes, because they're told that they should be. We live in a largely heteronormative society. Normative meaning that this is what most people expect you to be. This is what most people expect is good. You hit the nail on the head, Matt, but you came to the wrong conclusion anyway.
It's not a gay pride parade. It's a not straight parade. It's all about
Okay, and?
what you aren't. It's not really about what you are. This is an
What does that have to do with anything?
important fact to keep in mind, especially as we enter into what has now been deemed Pride Month. It used to be, you had a one part of a day, the Pride Parade, and then it was Pride Day, and then it was a week, and now it's Pride Month.
Okay, so hold on. Origins of Pride Month. Let's go ahead. LGBT Pride Month occurs in the United States to commemorate the Stonewall Riots, which occurred at the end of 1969. When did it begin? Let's see here. 3 presidents of the United States have officially declared a Pride Month. President Bill Clinton declared it in 1999. Then from 2009 to 2016, and then, yeah, that's when Barack Obama declared it. It looks like this has been the case for, 3 decades, Matt. How old are you? How old is Matt Walsh? Okay, the Matt Walsh that talks on this show. Why am I finding a different Matt Walsh? Why am I finding a different Matt Walsh? Hold on. How old is Matt Walsh? Daily Wire. I guess we'll find you on IMDb. I guess that's what we're doing. Okay, none of this is showing me when you were born. Guessing 30? I'm guessing. Okay, here we are. Okay, so you were born in 1964 in Chicago? Is that true? 54 years old. Okay. So, Matt, so that can't be right? It could be. But it feels weird because there's a different Matt Walsh who's a comedian who comes up whenever I look stuff up. But if 1964 is what we have, then I guess that's correct. So, Matt, for half of your life, we've had, apparently, if that is what you're saying, then for half of your life, we've had a Pride Month, right? Half of your life. You want to do this slippery slope thing. Well, first it was a Pride Day. So, did we ever have a Pride Day? Did we ever have a Pride Day? So he's 34, isn't he? I've heard... So, I think what's happening is that all the websites are using the wrong age. Said Blue's Clues came out when he was in middle school? I guess what we checked then is, when did Blue's Clues come out? When did Blue's Clues come out? Okay, Blue's Clues came out in 1996. Oh yeah, you're not fucking 54. Dude, there's been a Pride Parade practically your entire life then. Jesus Christ. There's been a Pride Parade practically your entire, or at least a Pride Month, your entire life, for the most part. At least most of the time that you have been cognizant. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of research real quick. See what we can find here. So on Saturday, June 7th, the Chicago Gay Liberation organized a march from Washington Square Park to the Water Tower at the intersection of Michigan. At the intersection of Michigan and Chicago Avenues. Which was the original route planned. So the day was chosen because the Stonewall events began on the last Saturday of June. Okay. So the next year, Pride marches took place in Boston, Dallas, Milwaukee. Okay, so what he's complaining about then, effectively, is the fact that this isn't traditional. That's what he's actually arguing. He's mad that a thing that, again, has been around for as long as he's been alive, for the most part. He's mad that a thing changed in culture, and now there is a month to celebrate it. That's effectively what this is. Is there a cat meowing at something? Yes, there is. It's gotten too big for him to ignore, basically. This is confusing to me, because this seems very much like he's mad that there is something that has changed. But that change happened, like, when he was still suckling his mom's teat? He's just complaining about a change to the status quo. Yeah, that's what this seems like. He's using this, like, slippery slope argument, but he's just mad that the status quo changed at some point in time. Dude's unironically scared of change, regardless of the content of that change. This is alien to me.
Many corporations and institutions will go out of their way this month, even more than they do every other month, to push this agenda onto the public and especially onto kids. Kellogg's, for example, recently unveiled a Pride cereal.
Yep.
Developed in association with the gay activist group GLAAD. The marketing campaign declares that boxes are for cereal, not people. And on the side of the box, there's a list of pronouns with a couple of blank spaces so that kids can fill in their own pronouns if they want. Ironically, they say boxes are for cereal, not people, and then invite children to literally put themselves into a box.
So, your pronouns are not a box. Your pronouns are a label. Gender stereotypes are a box, Matt. But pronouns are not a box. Pronouns are labels. They are descriptive identifiers. The only way that this becomes a box is if you try to interweave gender norms into it too. I'm sorry, Matt. This argument doesn't work. This argument falls literally flat on its face.
Indeed, the LGBT movement is all about boxes. It's all about obsessively identifying and labeling people.
No, it's not. It's about finding accurate descriptors so that people are not confused in and of themselves. If I talk to a straight person and they say, oh, well, I'm normal because I'm attracted to the opposite gender/sex. The LGBTQ community wants to make it so that the conversation of I'm normal doesn't happen again. Because it's not a thing where you should say I'm either normal or I'm abnormal. It should be a thing where we have an accurate identifier. If let's say I'm talking to somebody and I'm attracted to them, right? And they look at me and go, oh, well, I'm lesbian. I'm going to have to go, oh, well, okay, cool. I guess we can just be friends. You are not attracted to me because I'm a cis guy. Cool. That's where that ends. By having an accurate shorthand identifier, that conversation was made much more easy.
The last thing they want is for children to be free and unencumbered, able to explore the world, figure themselves out.
So wait, hold on. If a kid puts their pronoun on a cereal box, they will now be encumbered by that and not be allowed to explore the world and their identity? I think I threw out a reason in the Mecha Random video about the cereal box, and I'll give you guys the reason again if you didn't see that one. Let's say you're a kid who's already been exploring their gender identity. You've been trying to figure this shit out. You've just now learned that you don't have to be stuck in the box of boy or girl or what have you. So when you look at the box of cereal, your parents are there at the table, you're eating your together cereal, and you just write in they/them for the pronouns. Now you've started a conversation with your parents about the fact that you have been exploring your gender. Putting your pronouns on the box does not stop you from being able to do that. Ever.
From a very young age, they say to the kids, here are the labels. Now pick one for yourself.
No, Matt. That's what we've been doing for decades. And that's what the LGBT community is trying to stop. For decades, it has been, you're either a guy or you're a girl, and that's it. And you didn't even get to pick the box. You just got assigned it when you were born. You had no volition in it. That is what you're describing, but you're essentially giving that projection to your enemies. That's what's going on here, Matt.
And assume an identity that coincides with it. Of course, they'll never be honest about any of this.
More projection. Lovely.
The absolutely undeniable, indisputable fact.
Oh, he's going to give us hard logic, guys. Let's go.
Which is staring us right in the face, is that the cultural powers that be really desperately want your kid to be gay or trans or some variation thereof.
What the fuck?
The truth, ladies and gentlemen, is that the powers that be desperately want your children to be gay or trans. They desperately want your children to mutilate their genitals and literally take thousands of penises up the butt. That is what the elites of the world want. That is what they desperately require. For if people are not taking dicks up the ass when they are the same gender that those dicks are full throttle guzzling into their buttholes with, then society, as the New World Order desperately wants it to be, will collapse. Ladies and gentlemen, be straight. You will stop the coming storm.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, Matt, seriously. Seriously. Oh god, I just realized I did say coming storm. Somebody's gonna make weird fucking fan art of a coming storm now, and it's not gonna be able to go into the Discord because that's not safe for work. Oh my god, Matt, seriously, nobody wants your kid okay, look, this is projection again, okay? Because for years, parents literally wanted their kids to be straight and cis. The idea that their kid might not be straight and the idea that their kid might not be cisgendered freaked them the fuck out for years. Years. And yet here you are going,
ladies and gentlemen, did you know that that thing that we've been doing to multiple people for decades, for generations, that's been terrible for their mental psyche? Someone else may be trying to do that. Only we are allowed to do that.
Except the difference here is that nobody else is trying to do that. Nobody's trying to say that your kid must be trans or must be gay. They'll just celebrate if they happen to be. Jesus fucking Christ. Change bad. Matt Walsh, no likey change. Man, my cat is very, very horny. Jesus Christ. Matt, do you need a cookie? Here. Have a cookie. I have just improved your visage 1,000-fold. Now that this cookie is over your face, I feel as though the world has been made a better place. Old man yells at cloud. This is old man yells at cloud, except it's old man yells at gender. Well, now that we've improved the stream significantly, we should probably continue the video. Let's go, Matt.
And they are going to do what they can to make that happen.
How are they gonna make your kid gay? Come on, Matt. Come on. We literally had... Matt, I have a question. Honestly, from one person to another. Which side of this conversation had conversion camps in a desperate attempt to realign people to be the gender or the sexuality that was considered the norm? Which side of this conversation did that, Matt? Which side? Because I'm pretty fucking certain that it wasn't the LGBTQ community. I'm like 100% certain that it was you guys. 110%.
But they won't admit it. Instead, they'll tell you that all of this, pride parades and pansexuals in schools, in shows for 3-year-olds, non-binary pronouns on cereal boxes, etc., all of this is about inviting kids to be themselves, they'll say.
Yeah, it is. Because we lived in a world previously where none of this was available to kids, and kids found themselves stuck in boxes that they weren't able to crack out of until they were adults. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Matt. You just get very mad that it's different than the current norm, so you make up a bullshit argument.
It's about inviting the 3-year-olds who are already trans or gay or pansexual to simply come out and live their authentic truth.
No, this is not telling 3-year-olds to be gay or trans or any bullshit. This is showing them that these people exist so that when they are old enough to potentially hurt or help those people, they will more likely help those people instead of hurting them. This is like saying showing your child a black person in media will necessarily make them want to either be or fuck someone who's black. This is like saying showing women in media makes your child want to be a woman. That's not how this works. This just shows that people like that exist. That's it. That's the bar, and it's been cleared. That's all.
Now, if you're still buying that line, then you may be a hopeless case. I don't know what to tell you. I can't force oblivious people to use their brains if they've gotten so comfortable living without them.
Matt, truer words have never been spoken. I'm just so sorry that they weren't in reference to the people you're talking about. I'm so sorry. Matt, you've been asleep for a very long time. Culture war? Pride parades and Blue's Clues? Nah, man, we're about to go to the Twin Towers. It's like early 90s. You're in middle school. We're gonna go on a field trip there. Come on, let's go. These things will last forever. Jesus.
But for everybody else, the truth should be clear by now. This, of course, has nothing to do with inviting kids to be who they are. There are no transgender 3-year-olds or bisexual 3-year-olds.
So, generally speaking, their concepts of gender and sexuality have not fully solidified at that point. You likely are very right about that. But that only matters if the show is telling the kids that they must be gay, trans, or bi, or pan, which it's not.
Or pansexual 3-year-olds. 3-year-olds are not concerned with expressing their sexual identities, mostly because they don't have a sexual identity at that age. They're concerned mostly with eating snacks and running around without their shoes on and playing with their toys. If we wanted to help them live their truth, quote unquote, that's the truth we would help them live.
Yeah, we already do that. A single Blue's Clues episode does not change the social zeitgeist so significantly that children don't get to go outside and play in the mud. You fucking troglodyte.
This hypersexualization, this incessant propagandizing is rather about introducing a new, quote, truth. It's about turning them into something that they would not otherwise be. And as we already covered, the identity that our most powerful cultural institutions want a child to adopt is a negative identity.
No. That negative identity only exists insofar as why Pride happened. They were not straight, therefore they were persecuted, therefore they developed Pride. Matt, you don't understand. This all begins with your side of the aisle. All of it. If gay people were allowed to just exist in America around the time that the Stonewall riots were happening, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be having this conversation. Because it would be accepted as completely normal, the same way that heterosexuality has been accepted for eons.
The message to the child is simple. In a way, it's simple. Be what you want to be.
Yep.
Be who you want to be.
Yep.
But don't be straight.
Nobody said don't be straight. There was never a point in time in any of the media that you have criticized or you have shown that says a child should not be straight. No normative ethical applications have been thrown out in that direction. You've pulled that out of your ass. And for somebody who's so scared of gay people, maybe you should try letting something in there once or twice. Except the stick that's currently stuck there.
Don't be, quote, cisgender. Don't adopt any values or worldviews or ideas that your grandparents may have held.
I mean, nobody said those things either. Now granted, there are some values that your grandparents may have held that you shouldn't adopt. Were your grandparents racist bigots? Were they pro-segregation during the time of Jim Crow? Yeah, probably throw that shit out the way. Are they virulent nationalists that are willing to throw more and more dead bodies on the funeral pyre of imperialistic wars? Yeah, probably don't adopt those principles. Did they believe in hard work and starting your own business and being self-sufficient? Yeah, then probably go ahead and take those ones. Those are fine. Until the point where those ones become toxic too and you won't help other people because you are self-sufficient. Jesus Christ. Matt, this is I want to say this is disappointing. I want to say that I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed, but actually, all I am is laughing. That's where I'm at in my life right now. I'm just laughing. Because, really, honestly, with everything that you have attempted to do here, everything you've attempted to say, I've come to the conclusion that you're scared of change. And that's fucking hilarious. More so than I think you'll ever know. So did he show the part of the song that said that allies could join the parade too? Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't show the part of the song that literally invited heterosexual people to exist alongside gay people as allies. Of course that part of the song wouldn't be shown, because that would be inconvenient to the fear-mongering he's trying to shoot up. That's it. But with all that said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, please hit the like button. Please check the description for ways you can support the show. And over and above everything else, guys, thank you for being here. And insert end of video tagline here.